Thank you so much for attending my PowerPoint presentation on the TI14 group stage. What the meat merp happened? First off, I'd like to open up with an apology to anyone who listened to me on the fantasy selection. My bus, dude. Now let's talk about what else disappointed us this TI. First off, I'd like to take a moment to give a big eulogy for Team Spirit. The squad that entered as the betting favorite to win the entire event bowed out during the group stage. This is a massive disappointment. Team Spirit is known for absolutely tearing up the group section of tournaments, even if they don't win in the end. There's a solid reason why I picked them to go 4-0, I promise. There's like a historical precedent for Team Spirit doing really, really well in the group stage of major events. I mean, you can look at the Esports World Cup, you can look at the Fashura event right before this TI. So many things pointed to Team Spirit doing really, really well, and they just ate shit. And I don't even have an answer for you. It turns out that apparently Laurel was sick the entirety of the week before TI, and that might have had something to do with it, but even that is, strange. It's just a very weird circumstance. Look, you can have some shame in the fact that you will not get an Arcana as a result of Team Spirit's performance, but just know that there are people out there who lost thousands of dollars, if not tens of thousands of dollars, because of how poorly Team Spirit did at this event. Going into the elimination matches alone is like a mark of dishonor, but then also losing it to Falcons, a team that has been their primary rival that they only recently lost to at the Fashura event. I mean, it's rough, man. You win 3-0 against them in the grand finals at the Esports World Cup, and now you're losing to them at TI in an elimination match, not even in the playoffs. Man, I'm pissed. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm actually upset about what happened with Team Spirit this tournament. But it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. The biggest tragedy of them all, though, is Team Liquid. The defending champ comes in as a possible contender, right? Not necessarily the favorite to win, but a real team to watch. And they just get shellacked. And the problem is when you look at the matchups that they had, right? Just what they drew by the luck of the draw, it makes sense. It sucks, but it really does. Team Liquid found itself up against Team Falcons, right? And an actual real, guaranteed to hit the podium style contender. And now I'm fearing that they may fall short. But then they also lost to Team Tidebound, which in my opinion is the single highest over expectation performing team in the entire event. They just got unlucky, man. There's really nothing else to say. And I like a lot of the players on Team Liquid. I really do. I love Insania, dude. I love him so much. I was so happy when he won TI. Niche is a beast. Everyone loves him. Boxy, boxy, boxy. But the fact that they had to go up against these particular teams and lost to them, it makes sense on paper, which makes the fact that they bowed out so early even more of a tragedy. Lastly, my condolences to all Aurora fans. I watched that elimination series between them and Enigma Galaxy. I saw game one and I was like, okay, cool. Pack it in, pack it away. Aurora's going to get over the retirement home that is Enigma Galaxy, zero problem. And then game two was an hour-plus slog fest. Helm of the Undying comes into play, and who the hell knows who's going to win. It's really just whoever rolls the most Helms of the Undying. And then they wind up losing the series in a reverse 2-0. That is so rough, man. That's so rough. And I like Mira, I like Toronto, Tokyo. I always thought it was weird that they left Team Spirit right after they won the first TI. Now, I have mixed feelings about it. I really do. I'm not going to get into it here because this is not the time or place. But Aurora, massive disappointment. I'm really disappointed by how this team did. I thought they could be a sleeper team to hit the podium, go really far in the playoffs, do really well. Turns out they're not even going to hit the playoffs at all. So those are the biggest disappointments from the event if you need to know. On a slightly brighter note, we also have the teams that outperformed expectation. In contrast with the disappointers, we have the appointers. And first off, we have Enigma Galaxy. This team, no one expected them to get this far. It's like a meme to root for Enigma Galaxy, right? It's a total Dota boomer move. And yet, they freaking did it, dude. They freaking did it. Now, all due respect, they did beat BetBoom team in the very first match that they played. That was already a pretty significant upset, right? I'm a GPK stan. I do believe that BetBoom team would be the best team in the world if GPK ever got the chance to lay his bald head in the lap of a beautiful woman, and she had 10 minutes to just pat his head and tell him that everything would be okay, right? I'm assuming that didn't happen at this tournament because BetBoom had its own troubles, but Enigma beat BetBoom, very nice, then lost to the team that is named after a yogurt brand that had to change their name due to copyright infringement. So they lost to the knockoff Yogurt Bros, went 2-3 in the group stage, and then somehow came around to win their elimination match. That elimination match, by the way, up against Aurora, so they're already up against multiple past TI winners, but the spirit of Kuroki's own TI win somehow came through and triumphed over it all. So big shout out to Enigma Galaxy. I have no clue how they made it. As a North American, I am legally obliged to root for Sumail, so I'm going to be cheering for the hell out of these guys now that Wildcard is out of the picture, but kudos to Enigma Galaxy, shout out to the Dota Boomers, you guys win this round. Next up is the team that I think probably overperformed expectations by far the most of any team. In my prediction video, I mentioned how this is not the year for China. Tidebound shut me the hell up. Okay, this team going 4-1 in the group stage is completely unprecedented, completely unheard of. I'm so proud of my boy Shiro. I loved him after the LGD rebuild. The fact that he's performing so well, he's like on par with Ame. Everyone's talking about Ame, and we're going to talk about him in a second, but like the fact that Shiro did this well has me really, really pumped to see how he performs in the playoffs. This team, just as a reminder, beat Team Liquid, the reigning champion of TI, Paravision, another team that did absolutely fantastic, and in a shocking turnaround, beat Team Falcons, one of the absolute favorites to win the entire goddamn event. They tore through them. They did not have an easy bracket ahead of them, and they somehow came on top every single time. I would like to formally apologize to the entire nation of China for what I said in my original fantasy prediction. This might be China's year. And the thing that really cements that is Extreme's performance. Extreme went 4-0 against probably the single most difficult bracket in the entire event. They beat Falcons, they beat Team Spirit, they beat their own countrymen Team Tidebound. I mean, the fact that like Aurora was their easiest matchup, that just tells you every single thing that you need to know. And Ame so far is the MVP of the event. The uncrowned king might be coming back to get his name on the Aegis for real. And the fact that he dumpstered his long-term husband, Yatoro, in order to do it, I mean, that's drama, right? That's like peak cinema, icing on the cake. I would love to watch Extreme win. Tidebound would fill me with mixed emotions, but if China is going to take a shock TI, Ame doing it would be the best thing in the world, and there's a reason why I'm choosing him as my fantasy carry going into the second stage. Now, as far as the meta goes, this has been a really weird TI, right? The title of this video doesn't just refer to which teams did particularly well, it also refers to how they did particularly well, because this meta is completely ridiculous. First off, as far as the draft goes, supports are the name of the game. There are very few carries that are super sought after. There's not a whole lot that are being super contested and picked. The top 4 right now, in no particular order, are Disruptor, Bane, Pugna, and Snapfire. That's a really weird mix. Going into this, I don't think very many people could have predicted that those 4 heroes would have been the most contested at TI, but sure enough, they are. The other thing that's really taking people by storm is the Earthshaker mid. Core Earthshaker at this TI has been an absolute menace. You're starting to see it more in your pubs, I guarantee it, and after TI, it's going to be running absolutely rampant. I have mixed feelings about the hero, but in terms of its performance in tournament, mid Earthshaker is clearly a top tier pick, and we're going to see a lot of it in the playoffs. Also, as a fun little aside and a shout out to literally myself, Troll Warlord has been picked up 8 times throughout the entirety of the International so far, and he has won 8 games. 100% win rate, Troll Warlord stands, now is our time. This hero is going to get nerfed to shit after the event, and I'm really sad about it, but it's nice to see him perform well on the biggest stage in the entire game. Okay, now finally we can talk about Helm of the Dominator. A few people in my farming item video were like, ooh, where's Helm of the Dom? And I'll probably do its own video soon. But this tournament has proven just how insane Helm of the Dominator is. You're seeing a lot of pro players just pick up, frankly, whatever creep is offered to them. You see a lot of the big Satyr, a lot of the big Centaur, the AoE Stomp is very nice, the Hadoken is quite nice as well. But the biggest one that we've seen so far is actually the upgraded water creep. I have not memorized all of their names yet. I'm sorry for being a filthy casual. But the one that has like old Tidehunter shard, where it's just like a line stun, it's like a shitty version of Lion's Earth Spike or whatever it's called, that so far has proven to be one of the most effective heroes in the entire event. It's just this random jungle creep. And I hate it. Oh my god, I hate it so much. You're gonna read about it more in the wall of text once we get to it after this slide. But oh my goodness, Helm of the Dominator is going to ruin your pubs until we get the post-TI patch. And maybe it'll be a big patch, maybe it'll be a small one. I'm honestly of the opinion that I want Valve to do an emergency nerf of this item after TI. It's kind of insane how much it warps the game for a variety of reasons. Again, the wall of text will come, don't worry about it. The biggest shocker so far has been Carry Tinker, though. I am worried about what Satanic is going to be doing to our pubs. Notably, Paravision is currently 2-3 with the strategy, right? Like, it's not an instant pick auto win. It's not like Anna's IO carry back in the day. But the fact that we are seeing a Carry Tinker makes me extremely nervous. Anyone who watched my Tinker video knows how much I hate this hero, how much he gets me like quaking in my boots, dude. I am terrified to see this enter the meta and become a thing that we're seeing in our regular pubs. So, Carry Tinker is by far the biggest shock. Shout out to Satanic for being this, like, what is he, like 12? And he has the nuts to bring out this wacky stuff into the meta. Another thing that I want to note is that a couple of patches ago, and I can't remember exactly what they did, Valve did a thing where they're hiding the vast majority of matchmaking data in really high level pubs so that people can't just go in and comb through it and figure things out. I think that that decision has contributed to this TI being so weird. The fact that the data is hidden, it's not so easy to look up what people play, what's going on at the really high level tier of the pubs, right? Like all that has contributed towards making this a really open meta where every team has a really unique take. Obviously, Helm of the Dominator has like made its way through the pubs, and a lot of people have opinions on it and how to best use it and what positions and what heroes and etc. But overall, this has been a really fun TI to watch from a pure like scientific standpoint. Like looking at it almost like you're an alien looking down on some weird alternate version of Dota. It's been really fun to watch. And Carry Tinker, I think, is super emblematic of that. If we did have super open matchmaking data, I don't think Carry Tinker would be a thing. So while I do hate Tinker, and I do hate him winning any games at all, he does have a losing record. And I have to give my props to Valve for making that change a couple of patches ago. Good on you, Valve. I wrote a little bit about Helm of the Dominator and its effect on the meta as a farming tool here. Feel free to read it if you like. My fantasy predictions so far have been really, really bad this tournament, but if for some reason you still trust me, here's how I think things are going to shake out. I do believe that Extreme Gaming is going to somehow pull off the most insane TI run that we've ever seen and come out as the victor over Paravision. Team Spirit is already out of the way. I think they're going to smash everyone on the way, and I also think that they're going to repeat their victory against Team Tidebound in the winter semifinals. They probably had one of the most difficult runs of any team outside of Extreme Gaming itself, going 4-0. They went 4-1, super overperformed expectations, beat a lot of teams that I would never in a million years imagine they beat. I think that they have the chutzpah to make it to the winter semifinals. I think they're ultimately going to lose to the China team kill, which makes me a little bit sad. But I do think that Paravision is going to pull off the miracle lower bracket run that we're used to seeing at TI. They're going to meet XG in the finals, and they're going to lose. I think it's going to be a close scoreline, though. I think it's going to be either a 3-1 or a 3-2. If I had to put money, it's going to be a 3-2, but I'm not a betting man. If you lose money based on following my predictions, you are not allowed to tell me about it. I don't want to hear it. Don't email me. Don't leave a comment. Don't do nothing. You lost your rent money. That's your problem to deal with, not mine. I think that Xi Jinping is going to be very satisfied with the outcome of this year's TI. This is China's year. My biggest apologies to everyone who lives in that giant country. Congratulations already. I'm willing to just say it right now. In conclusion, TI playoffs will be very interesting and you should absolutely watch them. At this point, I am legitimately afraid that China is going to take over Dota in one of the wildest second wins we've ever seen in esports history. And if they do, I will gladly kneel and begin saying shay shay to the shopkeeper after I buy Helm of the Dominator. Peace on planet Earth.